Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Charlotte to Go. A question this morning is, would you give up your primo seat on a flight for a family so they could sit together? But I think this is the caveat you have to say. If they didn't ask you, if they just assumed and took your seat, because that's what happened in one recent case. I think if people politely ask, that's one thing. That's not what happened in this case.
Yeah, so we were talking about this during the show this morning. It's about this simple video that is going viral. So take a look at this right here. There's no heated exchange or even like any audio, but here's what that long caption is talking about. So basically, the woman that you're looking at, her name's Tammy Nelson. She's a TikTok user. She was boarding a flight when she noticed that someone was sitting in her seat. Now, when she told the person, well, it turns out they were sitting in the wrong seat on purpose, but here's why.
Nope.
It was a mom wanting to sit closer to her kids. Now, the mom had been originally seated in the row behind, mind you. And still, Nelson, though, she'd been assigned a window seat, which was her preference. So, meanwhile, the video, I mean, it's getting attention from millions of folks, and plenty of people are weighing in on both sides. But we asked all this morning, should those who are traveling solo switch seats to accommodate families? So make sure you drop your response in the comments. Guys, this morning, at least for us, it was an overwhelming no. You know, and this is a good context right here in the bottom left. You know, you usually pay for a specific seat. So if a family chooses not to, you know, that's a fair argument.
And the thing is, that's a new thing. That was not always the case until just a few years ago, that if you fly on a regular basis, you'll go in and you'll select the seat you want. And a lot of times, the seat you want is going to be more expensive. The middle seats are not more expensive, for example. And so nowadays, if you're paying more to sit in that specific seat, I think giving it up makes it a little tougher.
Which, by the way, it takes a lot of courage to even ask somebody. It's even bolder just to take the seat.
Oh, my goodness.
Because there's been times that, because Kim and I have physically flown with JT with a baby, and I think I have a good excuse, but I usually get stuck with the middle seat, and I was like, this isn't a good bartering chip. So, yeah, and I didn't get to read the end of that. What was the other woman's seat? Was it a window, or was it...
it was the one behind it, right?
Is that one behind at the window, or was she...
No, so the mom, she was originally seated in the middle seat behind, and there were two kids. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have a middle seat, and then you just take somebody else's seat.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
it's the assumption that the person should... That's the problem. Like, you get, like, honestly, I think had the proper way to do this, I think, would have been to get in your assigned seat.
Yeah.
Alert the flight attendant, hey, my kids are up there. I do think it's incumbent upon the airline to try to sit you with your family. I do think that.
And some are.
And some are. And I think the flight attendant gets involved and says, hey, is there someone around here who we can switch with? Politely ask around. I think that would have been the right way of doing it. Just assuming the stranger's going to go along with it and sitting in their seat is...
I used to get stuck sitting. It happened so many times. I was on the window seat, but getting stuck with, like, kids, little kids. And there were two occasions where I had the mothers, but it happened twice. The mother said, would you hold my whatever little kid? I have to change the diaper of my baby. So it's like, yeah. And one time, I think it was like maybe a 3-year-old kid. Okay, so here we go, put him on my lap, and he's sitting there, and he's looking out the window, he's going, oh, we're going to crash. He started screaming. We're going to crash.
Barry,
I'm holding the kid. Everybody's looking at me like it's my kid. I said,
I can still see you.
It happened again.
No way.
Happened again. It was like maybe 2 years later, very similar situation with it. While I was in the window seat asleep. Excuse me, sir, would you mind? Take my. I have to. My baby here.
Is this what they sound like?
Yeah, just like that. Both sides that way.
Plain etiquette.
It also shows who you are as a person. That is like, wow, this guy looks trustworthy to hold my kid.
Oh, you know, yeah. Well, let's look at it that way.
It's true.
Okay, now it's going to happen again.
I really hope not. Knock on wood for you. Well, some of the details that we didn't get into this morning. So, and it's up to you to determine, if this offers more context, but the age of the kids. So she was saying that, the woman that posted on TikTok, she was saying that they looked about like 11, 12, and then the other one was 15. And so it kind of makes me wonder.
They're old enough to sit by themselves.
Right. Yeah. When you're in the row in front of them,
like
they're right there. Right, exactly.
Mommy, help me.
So, okay, because that kind of seemed to like a little frustrate the user.
That changes the scales a little bit.
The 15-year-old probably preferred that mom not sit there. I mean,
that's true.
I mean,
actually.
She didn't want that middle seat. What she was trying to do.
I was about to say, the more that we talk about it, I think she just didn't want.
And that's the problem is that you have nice people, I think, on flights who are willing to do nice things, but then you have some people that are taking advantage of those people.
In the seats.
A lot of you folks weighing in. Melissa, airlines should seat people together that buy tickets. Agree, they absolutely should. But no, if I paid for a seat, I'm not moving. Hank says every situation is different, but would probably switch, assuming the family would compensate me for it. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good
hey.
one. Okay, Hank.
I never asked someone to give up a better seat for nothing. I think that's part of the problem.
Money talks.
John, you should not be required, but it's a nice gesture. But I understand why people would not, as they pay for the specific seat. It definitely is a nice gesture. I think, like, it certainly is.
And they're not cheap either.
It's like $25, isn't
at
it?
least.
At
And
least.
It's like if you change and you want like a seat preference after you've bought your ticket, like $35, $40. Because I looked just for fun once, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, who is paying $40 just for an aisle seat?
I'd rather go with seat roulette. See
There you
where you
go.
end up.
Yup.
Sometimes you get a window, not likely.
Not like-
Sometimes.
Really depends on how long the flight is.
Have you ever had to sit in
Oh,
the back
yeah.
row?
It really depends on how long the
Actually,
flight
yes.
is. I'll get
Back
really
seats.
picky if it's a foreign flight.
See, I
really
did
picky.
middle seat.
You ever
in
had
a
to sit
foreign
in the
flight
back
before?
seat where you can't recline?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
I've had.
that's
I was
right.
I was young and stupid is when I did that. I
I was old and stupid.
I was like,
I can't with either one of y'all.
it was back in the day where I was like, oh, well, all seats are
Yeah.
fine. It's amazing
Yeah.
how inflexible you get.
Yeah, that's true.
Never again, he says.
Right, never again. Folks, let us know, would you be willing to switch seats on your next flight, especially one you paid for,
Yeah.
extra for?
The game has changed.
It really has. Thanks, airlines. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.